Welcome to Season 4 of Casting Confidential. This season arrives at a pivotal moment. Casting is now formally recognized by both the Academy Awards and the Critics' Choice Awards. Across the season, I'm joined by actors shaping today's film and television landscape, award-recognized casting directors, and industry leaders to break down how casting actually works, who gets in the room, how decisions are made, and what moves careers forward. No mythology, no guesswork, just honest conversations about the process. And if you want deeper access to this work, bonus episodes, extended conversations, and live discussions, you can join the Casting Confidential community on Patreon. This is Casting Confidential. Actors, you need to rehearse or record a self-tape, but you don't always have somebody around to read with. Well, I think I found a solution for you. It's called the Raffi app. Raffi is an app that scans your sides and lets you rehearse with realistic reader voices. There are over 60 of them, so you can run scenes on your own anytime. It also has an optional teleprompter built in, works in multiple languages, includes a web version, and even has its own script library called Playhouse, where you can practice scenes and showcase your work on social media. Whether you're rehearsing, memorizing, or recording a self-tape, Raffi gives you control over your process without having to wait for anyone else. Check it out at raffi.app. That's RAFY.app. And make sure you use the special code confidential15 to get 15% off. That's confidential15. I'll drop that code in the show notes.
Let's go.
Welcome to Casting Confidential. I'm your host, Rosen, and today I am joined by one of the most influential casting directors working today. It's Nina Gold.
Hello.
I'm a huge fan. Nina's work has shaped modern film and television for decades, from Game of Thrones to The Crown to, I don't know, however many hundreds of projects she has, maybe into the thousands. Her casting has not only launched careers, it has defined worlds. And this year, she's nominated for her work on the film Hamnet. While at the same moment, our profession reaches a long overdue milestone, the first ever Academy Award for casting. Yay! So today, this is a conversation between two casting directors about the work, the responsibility, and what this moment actually means for our industry. Nina, thank you so much for being here. It is such a pleasure to meet you. I've been a fan for years. I see your name on everything that the casting is perfect. So thank you for doing the work and thank you for joining us. I want to start here because this moment, of course, is historic. I'm sure you've been talking a lot about it, but for the first time, casting is being formally recognized by the Academy, and that didn't happen by accident. When you heard this category was finally happening, what was your first reaction?
It feels so right and great.
Yeah.
And it's also the result of a load of incredibly hard work from loads of our colleagues.
Yes.
The current governors, the governors before, people have really put in a lot of effort to get this to happen. Over multiple years, lots of times of trying, and it's all come together.
Why do you think it's been so difficult for our lovely profession that has been above the line for many years and well regarded? Why do you think this has been the hardest thing to get over the goalpost?
I think it's a lot of things. I mean, I think basically, institutions don't like change, basically, no institutions like change particularly. I guess for a long time, we casting directors, we are kind of by nature not particularly limelight seeking type of people, I guess. So the idea of pushing oneself and promoting oneself and getting to the foreground is not always top of our mind. Um, but I think it does. It took people, it had to be explained that what we do is a creative endeavor in the same way that other creative parts of the filmmaking process are, but that it's a little bit harder to identify because it's so well, because it's all about human beings rather than things or techniques, or so it's a little bit more ineffable and invisible somehow.
I often say that it may be that the directors want to own the casting and didn't want to share that with us. Do you feel that, or do you think I'm wrong? I'm completely open to being wrong.
I mean, I guess it varies, though. I have to say that getting this in this campaign to get the Oscar, a lot of us asked directors that we've worked with closely to help make our case, and they really did, and they fully embraced it and really acknowledged our part in what it takes to cast a movie.
See, I love to hear that,
But
because
also, I think, all every single part of making a film, ultimately, the direct it's about a collaboration with the director from every area.
good point, absolutely good point. So, yeah, it's just that we share, that we like to be called directors, and that feels, buggy, if you will, on some
Yeah,
level, maybe. I don't know.
maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think this changes, if anything, for the younger casting directors coming up?
Um,
Do you think it matters?
I mean, it's just great, but I don't know if anybody's thinking, great, now I really want to be a casting director because you might get an Academy Award. I think, I think people are just still trying to do their job really well, the way they always have done. But it is just the idea of being recognized as equal with our other colleagues is pretty gratifying.
Let's focus more on you. Um, tell
Okay.
me how you yeah, no, no, no. Tell me how you started. Since we were just talking about the kids coming up one day, I just thought I'd be a casting director. That's pretty much my story. What's yours?
um, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a casting director, I don't think. I I was when I was still a student, a friend asked me to be an extra in a music video. So I went to be an extra in a music video, and I remember looking around and thinking, God, these people working on this filmmaking thing have a great job. I don't know what they're doing, who's doing what, but it looks great. And then the same friend asked me to help her get some extras for another music video. And then I used to get extras for music videos, basically. And
It's
this
a
was,
job.
yeah. And then that led to then I used to started working in TV commercials, and one thing led to another very, very slowly. And what I really wanted to do was to get into drama and film, and eventually, slowly, one step at a time, it happened. But I really, I did take all the slow steps, even if it wasn't through the. It just happened slowly.
Were you somebody's assistant?
No,
Yeah, me either.
I was winging it.
Like, yeah, I could do that, right?
I was really the thing that really changed. I mean, I really did try and learn about like a mass knowledge about actors. I was obsessively watching stuff, going to the theatre every night, watching, just watching actors, and and then I did a TV commercial with Mike Lee that kind of changed everything because then we became friends. Then he asked me to cast Topsy Turvy, and then that was a absolutely gigantic learning curve.
I bet. No, that's amazing. It, but I think that's the smartest thing. If you get going in, you do your research, you figure it out, right? And I think, don't you feel like your entire career was just that, doing your research, figuring it out? How many things have changed in our business over the years? Our workflows, the way we, find actors, the way, all of it. It changes like every minute, don't you think?
Yes, I think it does, but I think you also really rely on the kind of years of knowledge that you're building up in the back of your head that you hope is going to stay there, that you kind of draw on
Yes.
when necessary.
Yes, yes. And that initial knowledge that you learned just by absorbing actors in a
Yeah.
frenzy of learning. I think it was really smart. You've never been an actor yourself.
Oh my God, no.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is the closest you're getting, right?
Yes. This is hard enough.
So one thing I always say on this show is casting isn't just choosing actors, it's architecture, it's tone, it's chemistry, it's rhythm, it's authorship. How do you define casting when you're explaining it to people outside of the industry?
Um, I guess I think of it as a real combination of hard work and instinct and trusting one's intuition.
Oh yeah. Intuition, I think, is the number one thing.
Yeah.
It never fails us, does it?
Well, we hope not.
At this part of your career, what part of the process still demands the most from you creatively?
Um, I think it's just the same, or as you know, at the beginning, it is a creative. You, you do have to just be thinking. You have to approach each time as if it's a new, and you can't. There isn't really a kind of formula, I don't think. But I mean, I wish there was. It would make it so much easier. But it's every time is a kind of creative process of trying to think who out of, there's always a lot of good people, but how to make it the one most perfectly right person is the is what the creative um effort is.
Can
I
I dive into that with you? Like how soon, how much time do you have to do this? How soon do you work directly with the director? Is it lists? Is it conversations? Like, where do you go with all of this in your workflow?
um I think for me it really varies. Sometimes I have a sort of strong feeling straight away, this is the person, this is the good right idea, this is what I think it should be. And then sometimes I don't start like that. You kind of look at a whole variety of ideas and thoughts and um really consider a lot of people and narrow it down, slowly. I think I don't know why, but it really varies.
That's interesting. So you get the script, you read it, and then you just, as you're reading it, these kinds of things come to you. That's what I'm imagining. Is that about right?
Yeah, you read it and you think about the characters, and then you sometimes you just think, oh well, so and so would be great, and then sometimes you think, oh, I need to think about all of the people who could play that, and sometimes you think about how to make it not what it seems like it, how it presents itself straight away.
I love that.
And sometimes you can't think of anyone for ages, and then suddenly one day it just suddenly a really good idea comes to you when you're, brushing your teeth or something.
Is that before you have to give the list in? For
Ho-
me, it's always
ho-
after that brushing the teeth moment is just the day after I've turned a list in.
yeah,
Then you're like, I gotta add one more.
yeah. Had a really good idea.
Do you find you have, for the most part, because I'm in my mind's eye, you're you could have a luxurious amount of time. Am I wrong?
Um, it's not, you don't very often get a luxurious amount of time, I don't
No.
find.
Like casting a big movie, Jay Kelly, that's a simple, not simple. I loved Jay
It
Kelly.
was not simple.
Was not simple. There were
A
some
lot of
great
people,
actors in there. So, like, do you have months? Do you have weeks? Do you have, what do you have from reading the script and being
with Jay Kelly, we had quite a lot of time, but partly because there was the strike in the middle of the casting process. So we
oh,
started thinking, talking, and I did it with Doug Abel, and we collaborated and made lists together and talked and talked and talked, and then we had to stop. So we kind of had much longer than we normally would because of that.
so that particular one was luxurious in some
Yeah, that
ways.
one was quite luxurious, but then there were an awful lot of people, and then once we'd done the kind of, there was this journey through his life and through different parts of his life, people by different people, and there were just lots of people.
Yes. Yes.
But we had a reasonable amount of time, and we needed it.
Right, to land those names and so
Yeah,
forth and get that scheduled together. Do you have do you do you change the schedule at all sometimes when you're putting together the cast? Or do you have that kind of control, or is the schedule like the projects I'm on? The schedule's pretty much set. We're not changing that much with the cast, but something tells me you might
I
have
don't know. It's quite unusual to be able to change it very much for cast. Though sometimes there is someone that you just really do try and work some miracles for. But it's hard, isn't it? There are so many other factors.
there are so many other
And
factors.
you do feel like saying, I found myself saying in my mind often, I mean, really, can this location be more important than the right actor?
Well, Nina, you have nailed it on the head. I always say we're all casting directors are all the same, and you have vibrated that for me. Absolutely. So let's talk about Hamnet. I just watched it again this weekend. What a beautiful movie. What an extraordinary cast. I, I can't tell you. I'm sure you've gotten this conversation from many people. I mean, even talking about it, I get chills. Her performance. I- Did you wait? Did she audition? Jesse, that's who I'm talking about.
She didn't audition. She came in for a meeting. We had, I and then Chloe had such a strong feeling that she was the perfect person.
Wow. Isn't that, I mean, to me, that's phenomenal. She's a great actor before, but I didn't see she had that in her.
Yes, I've watched every single thing she's ever done. I've been looking at her since, you know, for a long time. And I've also got to know her quite well over the years. And she's she is a phenomenal actor, but she just clearly, as a person, has this. She's a vessel for truthfulness, basically, and she's so connected and grounded and just had everything you could possibly want.
No kidding.
And
That was
she doesn't hold back. She doesn't, she's so brave and so powerful.
so brave. Yes. Did you see? I'm sure you did. Jane Fonda, speaking of her performance. Whew.
God, that was
Listeners,
something,
if
wasn't
you,
it?
yeah, you've got to Google that Jane
Yeah.
Fonda talking about the performance in the film Hamnet. Really, a moment, a moment. Yeah, yeah. So tell me a little bit about what tell me about your schedule now leading up to the Oscars.
Me,
Uh-huh. Is it crazy? Like, what's going on? Like, so this is our first Academy Awards. Do you have like outfits and stuff? Let's get a little behind the scenes.
This is my schedule. It's all about getting the app, finding the outfit. All my friends are helping me to find an
Oh,
outfit. It's very time consuming, but it's
yeah.
kind of fun. And I'm really worried about the shoes.
I I feel you exactly, right? You don't want the highest heel because you feel like you'll trip. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, and you've got to wear them for hours.
Hours. The shoes are critical. I don't know how the people wear the Louboutins. I do not.
No. And I mean, you don't want to look too, I have a bit of a fear of looking too much done up like a dog's dinner, but on the other hand, you do want to make an effort.
Yes. It's interesting. So you don't, do you have stylists or any of that, or we're talking friends at this point, right?
I haven't got a stylist, but you know,
No, it's good. It's our first one, so I'm curious how we're showing up, right? It's just it's lovely.
there's still time.
There's still time. That's it. If you're a stylist out there and you want to style Nina, I can hook you up. There's still time indeed. Um,
And getting some help from some really kind and fantastic friends in fashion who are just bloody brilliant.
I think that's kind of the best anyway, right? You
Yeah.
know, unless Armani wants to, give you an outfit, and
I
Tiffany
mean,
some jewels, you're open.
I'm available.
This is it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great moment, and I think you should absorb it for every inch that that you can.
It's so
Um,
it's such a great moment, and also you kind of really feel we got to do it for the 97 previous years of casting directors.
isn't that it, 97? How long do you think we've been working at getting this?
This is the 98th year, isn't it? Well, I think we didn't get the kind of concept of the single card credit didn't come in until the late 60s.
Right.
It was the
So that's
first time.
40 years
Oh
ago,
no, I've
50
forgotten.
years
Was it the
ago.
Thomas? I think it was the Thomas Crown Affair.
No,
Lynn Stallmaster on the Thomas Crown Affair was the first casting director credit.
that is so long ago.
But if you think before that, there were another my arithmetic 40 years or something of
Yes, so
uncredited
many.
casting directors.
Right. We were
Um,
just housewives helping out.
but it was, I mean, somebody was obviously doing it. They just weren't getting a credit.
I think
Because
it's
we know somebody's got to do it. You can't just if it's a kind of group effort, it would be complete chaos. Somebody really does need to, take charge.
yes.
There
I
have
mean,
been
I'd say at least 25 or 30 years we've been actively working to get an Oscar, wouldn't you say?
Yes, and there have been kind of a few concerted efforts that have not, have failed. And then this round has, my God, everybody's worked hard.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Our
Now, the
brilliant governors and previous governors have really, really did it.
yes. Hey, you Casting Confidential listeners. If Casting Confidential has helped you better understand the casting process, there's now a way to go deeper. On Patreon, we're sharing bonus episodes, extended conversations, and live Q&As built specifically for actors who want real clarity, not industry noise. You can join the Casting Confidential community at patreon.com/casting confidential. We'd love to see you there. One of the governors was a casting director just a couple of years ago, right?
Oh, David Rubin, yeah.
Hmm.
No, he was the head boss,
Yeah. Yes.
whatever you call it.
Whatever the president, I don't
Yeah,
know. I
yeah.
think so. Yes, and I'm sure
And
that
he
helps.
really did us a lot of good.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's wonderful. And you've been in the academy quite a long time, right?
Yes.
That's good. That's good. And the BAFTAs have a casting category that's fairly new. What was it, 2022? You think?
I
Who
think
knows?
something like that.
Yeah, pretty new though. Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed, let's see, maybe the last year's BAFTA was won by a director, not a casting director. How did you feel about that?
Um,
In a nice way.
I mean, the casting was really amazing, you have to admit.
But just like what you said, somebody did it. Do you think he did the whole thing? I mean, there was another person.
I don't actually know
Who knows?
personally all of the details, but I my understanding is that he really does do, he does it.
Well,
He really does all the research, makes the approaches. My understanding is he really does do casting.
those
But
are some people to make approaches to in that movie, I'll tell you. That was
yeah,
something.
they were it was fantastic casting, you got to admit.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I would admit. But I will also admit I'm glad this year that they're all, casting directors
You
that are.
know, it would be a bit tragic if the first casting director to win an Oscar wasn't a casting director.
There's my point.
But we don't have to worry about that.
We don't have to worry about that. What a great group. I'm rooting for you, but I'm just saying that out loud. Why
Let me
not?
say that to all the
There.
cast.
I really don't. So, what we talked a little bit about the industry changes. Do you want to talk about what has changed around you since you've been working in the industry for years, just like I have? And I don't
Um,
like to say the number.
um, um, I mean, in the UK where I mainly work, there's the amount of work has exploded. When I first
Oh,
started,
yeah.
there was, everybody was always out of work, basically. Actors, casting directors, there wasn't that much work. And now it's a pretty busy, buzzing, there's a lot of work now. So much more work than there used to be, which is really great. And
This is
also,
the difference of there in Hollywood. It's like inverted.
yeah, I guess so.
Oh, it's true, sure. But businesses change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's I know there are all sorts of incentives in the UK, and it's
Yes.
basically cheaper.
Yeah, no, it is. It's for sure. I always say follow the money. What of your like casting instincts do you think sharpen over time?
Um, I think over time you learn to trust your instincts more, or also to realize that they are important kind of thing. Like, definitely when I started, I was really trying to kind of guess what everybody else wanted and trying to please all the people all of the time. Whereas now I realize what I am being hired for is to actually have my own opinion and to be able to make it convincing and
That's huge.
to trust that my instinct. I mean, that's all you've really, you can analyze, you can analyze the casting decisions and the qualities in a person and what they've done and what makes them right. But ultimately, it's more instinctive than analytical, I think.
For sure. For sure. Do you think there's something you're less willing to compromise on now than you might have earlier in your career?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think probably now if people come to me with a project that they've already got someone attached to, and it's not necessarily my cup of tea, I probably would say no. Whereas in the early days, I would have said yes.
I love that. That's great. It's a
But
great
not
position
that
to be
that
in.
doesn't happen very often, but I imagine it. I think it. I think, yeah, that's what I think.
I think the no's are powerful, don't you?
Say that again.
I think saying no.
Oh, saying no is a fabulous thing that I
Powerful.
really wish one could learn to do more often.
sounds like now you're getting the rhythm of that a little better. Maybe not, but at least in your casting you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Um, what responsibility do you think comes with this new visibility of casting for all of us, not just you? What do you think?
I mean, I think it's the same responsibility, you know. I think it's totally fantastic that we're up there with all of our other colleagues. But it's not like last year we weren't trying really hard to do a really good job, as you know, we're just going to keep on trying to make it good work, Oscar or no Oscar.
Absolutely. What misconceptions about casting do you still see even now?
Um, I think maybe people might not understand what an incredibly labor intensive job it is. That, you know, the amount of viewing and going to the theatre and going watching, you know, the thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to manage to watch all the episodes of this TV show because I've got to watch this other show, you know, and the amount of reading, and then there's the new draft, and have you read the new draft of the old, and then just that, and then the, you know, actual meeting the people and doing the thing and making the calls and the 200 emails and the, you know, it's a lot. And we're not just sitting there thinking, oh, I know, why don't we just have, you know, Ray Fiennes? It's a lot more than that.
Excellent point. Do you have a large team? Are they always with you? Do you just hire freelancers? Do you have a place? What's the story?
I've got a nice office, and I used to work out of my house when my kids were young, which eventually became a bit insane. And then I have an office. I have a few incredible colleagues, and they are absolutely brilliant.
I love that they're colleagues, not assistants. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you don't go in every day, I'm sure, anyway, right?
I mean, I mainly do.
Do you really? You're like you go to the office quite often. So many people have an office now and only go in for like a casting or
No,
something.
I go to the office, and you know, it's I walk to the office from my house with my dog, go to
Oh,
the
that's
office.
nice.
Um, you know, it's much easier to concentrate in the office, I find.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. No, I've always been an at-home person and I do my castings elsewhere, but always worked at home
Yeah,
from when my kids were little as well.
yeah. It's sometimes it's suit. I mean, it sort of suits for a while. Had to make a change a few years ago, but
No, I love it. Um, and I love that you walk there. That's delightful.
London. I
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
walking around LA. People look at me like I'm completely insane.
You're not walking around LA, are you?
I have. Done a little bit of walking around.
We'll have to talk about that. Tell me something you'd like actors, young actors who are just starting out. What would you like to telegraph to them?
um, that it's what would I like to telegraph to young actors? That I mean, a lot of it's true that a lot of it is luck and timing, but a lot of it really is, you know, all about hard work and commitment and really just trying to give it your all, which they generally do.
No, they do. They do. And do you think any specific thing that they do, classes, or they always ask me this, so I'm asking you, um, uh, posting on Instagram, doing classes, doing your own stuff, any of that has more weight than something else for you?
Um, I mean, the good thing about doing classes is you get to do some actual acting, and that's what they're, just doing some acting in any format is the thing that keeps you really good at it. So I think that is good, just being able to practice your craft in some way or other, whether so when you don't have a job, you can still be acting because you need to, exercise exercise it, I guess.
You have to work it out, don't you?
Yeah.
What would you want actors and others to understand about our side of the table?
Um, I guess that really we are always on their side. We're not there in opposition. We're trying to create an environment for them to be able to get the part. And we want to be helpful and make it as good for them as we can. And also, I mean, I have to say that I do take my hat off to all the actors, the ones who do get the part, the ones who don't get the part, just for putting themselves up there and trying and making it, really going for it, even if it's a small two-line part, or they're putting themselves on the line over and over again. And that's impressive. And I mean, God, I could never do it. And I take my hat off to them.
It's phenomenal to watch. I agree.
Yeah.
Every single one, it's like, wow, look at them.
Yeah.
And they get beat up time and time again and keep coming back. And God bless. We see you. It is difficult,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, I love that you highlighted that because I
And they have to be resilient, don't they?
they really do.
And they also you can see that you could only really do it if you really, really, really have to, because otherwise it's too hard.
Right. Right. No question. What do you think, like, what's your percentage, or do you think you do, how many, you do such high level actors so often. These are mainly offer only. You're still doing auditions, but how far down the line do you think before you're auditioning the actors? Like top of, the first top 3, 5 names, maybe not at all. You're giving them an offer, and then below that, or I'm sure you're going to say it depends on the project.
Does. I mean, from it depends on the project, and it depends on the director, and it depends on quite a lot on the director's kind of level of knowledge of the actors.
Interesting. That's
Um, but I mean, for example, with Hamnet, we
mhm.
did audition Jesse. Paul Mescal, despite the fact he was a kind of star, came and did a not exactly an audition, but a kind of chemistry read with Jesse before he got the part. Then, so that was pretty amazing. And then um, Emily, David Wilmot, Justine Mitchell, those people didn't audition, they just came and met Chloe. And then I mainly auditioned from parts smaller than that. Yeah,
How about those kids?
did a hell of a lot of auditioning of those kids.
They were phenomenal.
Yeah, they were just amazing, weren't they?
Oh my word. They were
Yeah.
great. So,
That was a very, very, very thorough process. We auditioned them loads of times, did all these improvisations with Chloe, led these improvisations. Then we did some with Paul and Jesse, and it was just rigorous.
wow. Wow. Well, it shows.
Yeah, but you've got to do it to be sure, haven't you?
Well, particularly with kids, I think
Yeah,
is really it's tricky.
yeah,
And the time frame has to be in some ways pretty tight with the kids like because they change so much,
No,
right?
if you cast them too early, suddenly by the time you've got them, they're not the kid you thought you were getting.
Yes. Yes.
Timing is everything again.
Yes, right. It's like, oh, this kid's too old, or even their attitude or their voice changes, the way they are changes so quickly that I think I think it's definitely prudent to cast them closer to the project date.
Yeah.
How long did you work on these many, many auditions for the children, do you think?
Um, I think about 5 months.
Wow. Well, like I said,
Yeah, I'd say that's a bit of a guess, but I think about 5 months.
well, wonderful movie, wonderful casting. I am cheering for you.
Thanks.
Nina, I know your people are asking you to go here shortly. So let me thank
I'm
you.
doing what I'm told.
Yeah, no, it's what we tell the actors to do. Now you're being told to do it. So it's a little, reversal at the moment, right? You'll be out of it soon. It'll all be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be back to the dog walking any minute now.
Well, listen, as a member of the casting community, I thank you for representing us so elegantly.
Thanks. It's going to be
And
really,
I'm cheering you on.
really fun.
Is it fun?
Yeah,
Good, good. As long as you're having a good time, that's important to me.
yeah.
Um, but thank you, not just for the conversation, but for all the work you've done and everything. Like I said, I'm a big fan. And
Thanks.
congratulations on Hamnet and for this moment in our profession. And for those listening, this is Casting Confidential, where casting directors talk about the work, the responsibility, and the process that shapes everything you see on screen. If this episode resonated with you, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Actors, filmmakers, or anyone who still thinks casting is just a list of names. I'm Rosen. Thanks for listening. Well, that's it for this episode of Casting Confidential. If you want to go deeper, you can now join us on Patreon, where we're sharing bonus episodes, extended conversations, and live Q&As designed specifically for actors navigating the casting process. You'll find all the details at patreon.com/casting confidential. If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Honestly, it helps so much. And for episodes, resources, and updates, visit castingconfidential.com. I'm Rosen. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
One of the greatest podcasts in television and film with Rosen CSA and all the friends. Bringing you Casting Confidential. Casting, that's essential. Casting, so eventful. Kinda tune in to close friends, chillin' with Rose. We call it Casting Confidential. Get a notepad ready, grab a pen and pencil. For magic to jot down, tell a friend too. A wonderful podcast in TV and film, we call it Casting Confidential. Let's go.